Hey you guys. So this is what music means to me, and today the song I'm going to be talking about is Last Time I Saw You by Nicki Minaj. It is her newest single that will also be on her album that comes out in November, Pink Friday 2. And the thing with this song is the tone, the messaging behind it is really about loss, grief, and it gives off the I would say essence of grand piano. So if you are familiar with a lot of other Nicki's songs and albums, on Pinkprint, the Pink Print, there is a song called Grand Piano where it showcases more of her vocals, and this is the same thing where it's more of her singing instead of rapping. She does have like a little rap verse in here, but it's not like a lot of her other songs where, you know, we've had Barbie World, we've had Starships. It's nothing like that. So it showcases more of her vocals instead of, her rapping ability. And I think that works very well given the tone of this song, given what the messaging is. And we don't get to hear that much, honestly, I feel too. So we're just going to talk through some of the lyrics, talk through, of course, the messaging, what I think some of this means, and let's just get into it. So the beginning of the song starts with begging me to stay, and then you walk away. There's something that you wanted to say. I was in a rush, but you said you were crushed, and I said I'd be back, it's okay. I wish I'd hugged you tighter the last time I saw you. I wish I didn't waste precious time the night when I called you. I wish I remembered to say I'd do anything for you. Maybe I pushed you away because I thought that I'd bore you. So definitely when it comes to the first section that we have there into the almost middle portion of the second section, it is very literal of anyone who has dealt with grief or loss. This song is very much taken in the literal sense of you have lost somebody. Some of these sections I do feel it is you have lost somebody in the sense of you've just, and maybe you've distanced yourself, you're not as close, you maybe just don't talk anymore. And so there is that grief of maybe you've lost a family member in that sense, you've maybe lost a friend that you used to talk to, anything of that sort where they're not really gone, like they have not left, but they are gone from your life where you do not talk to them. And so when it comes to some of these lyrics and some of these lines where there's something that you wanted to say, I was in a rush, but you said you were crushed. I said I'd be back, it's okay. There are instances where a lot of people, we look back on things, and in any sense of any of these situations where you are dealing with grief, where you wish you could go back and do something because you have lost somebody, you wish you could do things over. Whether you wish you could spend more time with this individual, whether you wish you could replay a situation and, hug them more, you could, say something different. If you didn't have to go, maybe you had an appointment or something, or you had a different event that you had to go to. If you didn't have that thing that you didn't have to rush off to, or the situation that is occurring where you could have spent more time with them, a lot of people wish that wasn't the case. Like they wish they could go back and spend more time. And that is what this whole song is really about, is you have to make sure in a lot of these situations you tell people really what you think and what you feel in the time that you have. I think what I resemble with the most, though, and I think what a lot of people do in a lot of these situations, is maybe I pushed you away because I thought I'd bore you. And I think sometimes for people, you know, in the day to day, it's just our lives. Like for us, we're like, yeah, we just maybe go to work, go home, maybe you spend time with your kids or your significant other or your dogs, your cats, whatever. And for other people, they may find that interesting or they want to know what's going on. But for us, we're like, I'm not going out skydiving. Like, I'm not going out doing anything. I'm not, going through something exciting. I'm not doing anything, you know, spectacular. And even too, in the sense of, maybe I pushed you away because I didn't want to bore you. I think sometimes if we talk, is the other individual really listening? Like, do they care? We don't know. Like our minds sometimes our minds can almost be our greatest enemy. And so if we think too much about it, or if we're reading into somebody's body language too much, we don't really know. And so we're like, okay, maybe they just don't care. And then we get into the little the one rap verse that she has within here. So close, but we were so distant. Wish I'd known in that instant. Ignored the hints, or I missed it. I killed it. You'd always be in attendance. No flights, but always attendant. Handwritten letter, you penned it. Them nights we wish never ended. Those rules that I wish we bended. Heartbreak that we never mended. Those messages we unsended. Best friends we somehow unfriended. Ain't care but 'bout who we offended. Parties they wish we attended. Got drunk and laughed. It was splendid. So here I'm going to highlight specific parts that I'm going to talk about because this is such a long portion and I want to make sure y'all know which ones I'm talking about. So the portions within this verse that I think really stick out to me the most, and then I think for some people maybe analyze or think about, is ignored the hints or I missed it. Again, for a lot of people, in my opinion, or what I think about in some of these cases, is with loss or grief, you have a lot of different situations. Sometimes unfortunate situations happen where it is, I will say, an inner battle, and you have other situations where it is just a natural cause, or you have a situation where it wasn't really meant to, like, it wasn't meant to really happen. It wasn't their time, but something occurred, whether it's a natural disaster in some cases, or like an act of violence or something. And so with this line, it could, it can very much be interpreted as, if someone's going through something, you ignored the hints. If someone is struggling, like has some sort of, disease, or going through some problems, they missed it. And so that's where I think for some people that particular line might hit home more so than within this particular verse when it comes to the overall messaging of grief and loss. And I think this section I'm going to do as a whole, because again, there's a lot of it I feel is very much connected, but a lot of it I'm again going to split up in different parts. So when it comes to this particular section, this is where I feel some of it can be grief in the literal sense and grief in the maybe you just split up, because you have heartbreak that was never mended. Those messages we unsended, best friends we somehow unfriended. That particular portion to me, if you have been in a situation where heartbreak that we never mended, it's a situation where in those 3 lines alone, if you have had somebody where you were close to them in, you know, a friendship sort of situation, and now you're just not, that's where I feel it's that sort of grief in that sense. You were best friends, you know, almost family, and now they're just kind of gone because you maybe just don't talk anymore or it's so distant. And that could be for whatever reason. And then you have ain't care about who we offended, parties they wish we attended, got drunk and laughed, it was splendid. I feel this way all the time when I'm with my friends. We every time, and there's one even up above where what was it? Them nights we wish they never ended. There are multiple times where I wish, you know, a lot of my friends certain nights wish they would never end. You know, and I hope anytime I send them something, they know, like, I try to put my heart and soul into anything. And, you know, we give each other kind of our all. And so that part, I think, resembles kind of more the lighter side, where it's the happier moments and the times where, you know, hey, it was splendid. Like, you are going through grief, but remember the happy times. Remember the good parts of it, of that relationship. And then as we get towards the end of the song, we have dream about you, dream about you, dream about you. I still dream about you. And then we get a, you know, essentially another, you know, another, I don't know why I'm having struggle with words. Another go of the chorus. And I think when it comes to the dream about you, those people just don't go away. In both of these senses that I'm talking about, you know, it's very hard to forget about people. I think in some cases, you know, whether, yeah, did some, in some cases, do us dirty? Were there maybe some bad memories? Sure. But in some of these situations, you know, you have good memories, and you have things where, you know, in a lot of these cases, what this song is about, who it's for, you know, you don't want to lose these people. And when you do, it is sad. It is a, you know, it's grief, it's loss, and it's a situation where, you know, you wish you had more time. You wish you didn't, you know, it always makes people think. It's always these types of songs where it's, you know, you hear them, makes you think a little bit more as to, you know, how should I spend my time? What should I do? And reflect. Yeah, reflect is the right word. And I think people do that anyway. But these songs, I think, just help embody that emotion a little bit more, and, you know, articulate those, you know, those feelings and how some people might be feeling. And so that's what I think in regards to this song. I am curious, once time kind of goes on, if she does decide to do a music video for this. I think it would be very, not interesting in the sense of like, you know, jaw dropping as in like, ah, you know, but I think it would be a very beautiful music video if she decided to do something for this one. Um, I think it'd be a nice concept, and especially if it continues to be very popular. But we'll see. I have no idea. It also depends on what's on the rest of the album. So that's my thoughts on the song. Let me know your thoughts down below on what you think, and I will talk to y'all later. Bye.